Hey YouTube! Thanks for tuning into our channel. So, as you can see in the description, I'm going to be talking about my pregnancy, my labor, my delivery, and the recovery of all that. She's supposed to be asleep, but I decided to record in the room, so she's not going to sleep. But anyways, let's get into it. So, December 8th, I found out I was pregnant. It was a Saturday. I woke up, I went to school. I went to school normally. I had a presentation, so I was very nervous and I was very nauseous. And I thought that I was just nauseous because I was nervous. So, whatever, I went back home. Dewan was still asleep, so I went back to sleep. And then we woke up and he was just like, go take a pregnancy test, you're pregnant. Just like that. Woke up and just said that. So, I was looking at him like, what are you talking about? Whatever, I took the test and I was pregnant. So when he saw the test, he's like, take another one. And I was like, it doesn't work like that. You know, I can't just go pee again. So we were gonna go out to eat with my parents. So he told me just to take a test with us. And before we left, go to the bathroom, take the test, put it in your bag, and then we'll see when we get in the car. So I did that, and when we got in the car, I saw that it was still pregnant. So I called my doctor, and she kind of calculated that I was only like 3 weeks, so they couldn't give me an appointment for another 3 weeks because you can't get appointments until you're at least 6 weeks pregnant. So I couldn't wait any longer. I got an appointment with I have a brain freeze. I made an appointment with Planned Parenthood, and they did an ultrasound and they didn't see anything, and they told me, you know, your tests are coming back positive for being pregnant, but you might just be too early to be able to see anything. So just wait until your appointment with your doctor and, you know, everything will be okay. So my appointment came and whatever, okay, I'm pregnant. My pregnancy, I would say the first 3 months was a little rough. You know, I had the nausea, no appetite, I retired. And then by the second trimester, my appetite definitely kicked up. I gained about 70 pounds in my pregnancy. And it was just bad. Like, it was hot. I was pregnant in the summer. I was big. I was swollen. But I was eating everything, enjoying it. What else? I can't complain. I loved being pregnant. I had heartburn a lot. So my due date was August 18th. She came the 19th. What's the matter? So I had an appointment. So, okay, my due date was on a Sunday, and I had all my appointments on Thursdays. So the Thursday before my due date, the doctor was like, okay, you know, nothing, just, you don't seem like you're ready. You're not dilated. Your cervix is not, like, you know, whatever you need to have, like, whatever has to happen before you give birth doesn't look like it's happening. So just make an appointment for next week. Hopefully I do see you before that, but just make the appointment. So I couldn't take it anymore. I couldn't have her in me anymore. So I started doing the walking, the bouncing, everything that they tell you to do to have a baby. So that was Thursday. Friday, I thought my water broke. So I went to the hospital. But I wasn't in pain. I just felt like my water broke. My doctor told me to just get checked just in case. And they sent me home. They told me my water didn't break. And that was it. Then Friday night, I couldn't sleep. I was in so much pain. I was just uncomfortable. Saturday, it was like a little better. I went to the mall. I walked around for like 3 hours. Just trying to be active. Then Saturday, I thought my water broke again, so I went to the hospital, and they told me it didn't break, to go back home. So Saturday night again was rough. It was just like very uncomfortable. Sunday was real. I had contractions all day, like 7 to 10 minutes apart, like all day Sunday. But I refused to go to the hospital because if they sent me home, I couldn't sit in the car and do all of that. So I was literally walking around trying to like get rid of the pain somehow, and I couldn't. So by like 10 at night, I was like 2 minutes apart. So my mom was like, it's time, like we have to go. So I took a shower, kind of packed what I could pack, and then I went to the hospital. And I was 3 centimeters, but my contractions were very close, so they kept me. And I think because this is my 3rd time in there, they were like, just keep her. So they asked me if I wanted an epidural, and I told them yes, to have it ready when my room was ready. So as soon as I got in my room, they gave me the epidural. It was like 11 at night, and the doctor was like, okay, so just sleep, relax, and we'll keep checking on you, and hopefully the baby comes soon. So I finally got to sleep. I hadn't slept in a couple days, and I hadn't eaten, and I wasn't allowed to eat now that I had the epidural and all that. So I just kind of slept. And then in the middle of the night, I spiked a fever. So they were telling me, you know, when the baby comes, we're going to be taking her to the NICU because you have a fever and we just need to make sure she's okay. They started me on antibiotics, and they said that she would be put on the same antibiotics or whatever. So I think it was like 4 or 5 in the morning. Her heart rate like was going so fast that they wanted to induce me right away. So I think it was maybe 6:30. They induced me and they broke my water. And by maybe 12, I was 10 centimeters dilated. It's the craziest feeling. I mean, I had the epidural, so I was very numb, but I just knew she was ready to come out. So I told the nurse, like, you need to go get the doctor, and she was like, oh, he's, helping deliver another baby, you have to wait. And I just looked at my mom and I told her, like, one of you have to catch her because she's coming out. You saying hi? So the doctor finally came in. He was like, oh, yep, you're ready to push. He's like, I'm gonna get ready. And this whole time I'm looking at everyone like, this baby is literally coming out of me. I need everyone to, like, hurry up. She wasn't coming out that fast. I pushed for about, I want to say 45 minutes. And then she finally came out. She was 8 pounds, 1 ounce. Girl, what's the matter? You see yourself in the mirror? Can mommy finish the video, please? She was 21 inches long. She was a big baby. I only got 1 stitch, so for you ladies who know about that stuff, that's pretty good for a big baby. So right away they cleaned her up. They didn't even let me hold her. They wrapped her up, and then they let her, like, kind of close to my face so I can see her, and then they rushed her right away to the NICU. So Duan followed with them, and my nurse was really rude. She was telling me that I couldn't go anywhere until I started walking, and I tried to explain to her I've been on epidural for over 12 hours, so there was no way I was walking anywhere. And I was, like, asking for a wheelchair because I wanted to hurry up and get to the NICU so I can be with her. So, what do you want? Here. So, that nurse finished her shift, and the new nurse, I told her, I need transport, like, now. I need somebody to get me a wheelchair. I need to go see the baby. So the new nurse got somebody to bring a wheelchair. They brought me to my room where I would be staying. I left everything, and then they brought me to the NICU where I could see her. That whole experience was a lot. I think we could just get into it now. So there was some nurses that were very good, and there were some nurses that I was ready to like to take my baby and go home and just deal with whatever at home, but it doesn't work like that. So they weren't really telling us much of what was going on. So all these tests they're running, they weren't really keeping me informed on what was going on with Kenza. And they were just rude. Like, I would come to feed her, stay with her for a little bit, but they wanted her in the little thing, like her in her little bed. So I would go back to my room because my nurses would be looking for me to give me antibiotics and all the stuff that I needed. So I would like lay down for a second and I'd get a phone call from the NICU saying, you know, do you think you want to come feed your baby today? Like, so rude. And then one of the doctors, we asked them, like, I don't remember what I asked her. And she tried to explain it to me, but in doctor terms. And Dewan was like, well, I don't really know what that means. And she just got mad. She like went off. She's like, I have to go take care of somebody else. Like, we can talk later, and left just like that. So we tried to get one of the nurses, like the nurse that was taking care of her at the time. And we were like, you know, can you maybe explain to us what's going on? And this other nurse out of nowhere was like, didn't the doctor just tell you what was going on? So that's kind of how that's what we dealt with while we were in the hospital. The nurses that took care of me were very nice. My doctor was amazing. He even went down to the NICU and tried to figure out what was going on because I told him how uncomfortable I was feeling with having her there and like how they were treating us. We had this very nice nurse at the end who released us. Wow. 1 second. She was so nice. She was telling us like all these things that we needed to know. Obviously, it's my first baby. Excuse me, but I would say my recovery wasn't bad. The epidural definitely was like, didn't wear off right away, so it was kind of hard for me to walk around. And I was very swollen at the end. So my legs were swollen for like a week after I gave birth. But we both were released at regular time. You know, we stayed in the hospital for 2 days. She got released a little later because all these things, all these complications, her glucose level had to be at a certain number and it wasn't. Then it finally was, so they took her off her IV. Then they thought they heard a heart murmur, so they had a EKG and a cardiologist and all of this. Just bills, like they just wanted money, honestly, because nothing was wrong. And, you know, of course I want them to be, I guess, proactive. Like, of course I want her to be okay and check if she's okay. But I was just ready to go home. So we went home. At the time we were living with my parents, so I had a lot of help. I wasn't working. Well, like I was on maternity leave, so I was able to like sleep a little bit. But that's pretty much it. I loved my experience being pregnant, and having her. I mean, the contractions are serious, and so you get that epidural, but I would have more. I definitely want to give her a sibling years from now, but I don't think this pregnancy scarred me like some people, which was great. And now she's just active and doesn't stop. Right, Kenzie? Right? And that's pretty much it. So, thank you for watching. Make sure you guys subscribe, like, and comment. Let me know what you guys want to see in the next video. And just stay tuned. Can you say bye? Say bye-bye. Say bye-bye. Say bye. We'll see you later.